For FC Cincinnati, too, a lot of younger players trying to break into the first team. Pancyprian Freedoms, you mentioned it, all over the docket. And Joseph Holland, the 31-year-old with USL experience, is the player to watch.
Yeah, and experience has a huge impact in games. Although you'd expect FC Cincinnati, too, to have a lot of technical players, young players with lots of energy, when it comes to cup competitions and knowing how to win, experience really does have an influence on that.
Well, it should make for an intriguing clash here at NKU Soccer Stadium. It is Pancyprian Freedoms in the royal blue kits with white numbers, FC Cincinnati 2 in their white kits with the blue hoops across the chest. First ever meeting between these two clubs. FC Cincinnati 2, a team that began in 2022 ahead of the inaugural Next Pro campaign. Pancyprian Freedoms, a squad that has a vast history of dominance in this very competition.
You can already see how the teams are lined up. 5-3-2. Looking up against probably a more traditional that we see these games, 4-3-3.
We spoke to Andreas Kronis, the head man for Pancyprians, who is a former player, his first year as a coach, retired to coach this very squad. And he is very confident. Holland to take, and it winds up routinely into the gloves of Paul Walters, the first teamer.
Yeah, nothing too threatening about that strike. I think what you do have with Pancyprians here is a proper semi-professional outfit where most of these guys have working professional jobs throughout the day and they train together in the evenings and they are compensated for their time. So they do take these games and their training as serious as a professional team, but obviously their days look a little bit different to how Cincinnati 2's days may look, but you're looking at players who have played in the league. I feel like in this area of the field, this is where they should be looking to engage and pressure the ball aggressively.
Caicedo.
And then if they are able to win that ball, then they have to be looking to counter-attack at full speed.
This is Yorkaev Caicedo, the 18-year-old Ecuadorian who joined from Club Deportivo Estudiantil.
I would say right now Pancyprians are maybe guilty of showing a little bit too much respect to FC Cincinnati. If this was the first MLS team, then yes, I would 100% agree with their approach.
You look over the top now. It was Opeyemi who was through momentarily.
Because you work a lot harder from a fitness perspective when you don't have possession of the ball, as you do when you own control of the ball.
Holland with in-swing. A good ball to Zalanka, and snatched out of the air by Walters.
Here, this could have gone anywhere. It's actually a free header in the end. Poor marking inside the box from FC Cincinnati. Yeah, Zalanka found himself all alone.
He was an elite goal scorer in the college ranks, especially at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. Spent last season in 2024 at Kentucky. Perhaps time for one final foray forward. And no, there will not be. Well, after 45 minutes and change, it's still no score between FC Cincinnati 2 and New York Pancyprian Freedoms. So that is the lone change at intermission. As we await the referee's signal, back underway here from NKU Soccer Stadium. Pancyprians still in a quest for the cup set.
This is where Pancyprians had to be more aggressive to get players forward. You can see players just ambling, and maybe the fitness is starting to kick in now because you see that counter-attack, 3 players still not even back into their own half yet. They're just about getting back into camera frame now. So now there's an opportunity for FC Cincinnati 2, you can see it, to counter-attack quickly and get bodies forward because Pancyprians are not recovering as quickly as maybe they were in the first half once they get forward.
Definitely feels like they need to be a bit more decisive and devastating when they win it back. And Bomadem to Dylan Hurtado. Adventurous cross in, it's saved, and an excellent stop from Levine.
Just watch as the ball comes in. He's on the defender's shoulders, he peels off a couple steps behind, completely free, just unable to guide it into the corner.
Fafazada. And this is Herrera.
This is probably the first time we've seen Pancyprians in the attacking half trying to connect a few passes. But look at the transition to defense. You can see labored legs. This is where FC Cincinnati should be able to recognize that and counter-attack quickly and take advantage, because when they don't, Pancyprians do a great job of getting bodies behind the ball. But if they counter-attack quickly, they're able to take advantage in those transition moments.
What do you think is the reason for Cincinnati's hesitance to break here?
As we said, it's a very young team, and sometimes you don't have that level of knowledge or expertise when you're so young. It's something that comes over time. But maybe you have 2 or 3 experienced players on the team who can kind of govern things on field. I think you're looking for maybe some of the leaders in the squad to take responsibility of how the flow is going. It cannot always be reliant on the coach on the outside. Sometimes you need players inside of the field to be able to take that responsibility also.
It's important to note, the oldest player on the pitch right now for the orange and blue is just 23 years of age. There's 2 23-year-olds. A lot of teenagers out there for FC Cincinnati too. And the man donning the captain's armband is Peter Mangione tonight. He is one of the oldest players on this FC Cincinnati team. Argudo wins this back. Are there numbers here for Pancyprians? Zalanka. It's Zalanka! Just narrowly over the bar.
Does well here to get this ball at his feet. Stands at the defender, just shifts it half a yard and gets his shot off. When discussing these players and thinking where they are in their individual journeys.
Currently on the pitch right now, 5 teenagers for FC Cincinnati too. The rest are in their early 20s. It's an adventurous cross, falls for Fafazada. The follow-up effort just sails high.
The opportunity there for Pancyprians to sucker punch FC Cincinnati too. Poor defensive header there, just heads it directly back into the danger zone. It's easy to say unlucky, but in reality, it's probably just lacking a little bit of quality and composure. If he has a better first touch there, that ball should be nestling in the back of the net. Coming onto the ball with momentum, bobbled up perfectly for him to strike it.
Hearing word Cincinnati is readying one more change. Hurtado is the man set to depart. And he will do so momentarily. He's replaced by Cosa Manyama, excuse me. A new signing for FC Cincinnati too. Cosa Manyama, the 19-year-old, makes his first ever U.S. Open Cup appearance. Manyama on loan from the South African Top Flight, a native of South Africa. Dinked over the top. It was decent positioning there, but not much more from Opiyemi.
Just see the diagonal run from outside to in. Great control on his chest. Just doesn't connect. Good movement, good ball control. Just lacking that final touch.
Zalanka giving chase. Well, back and forth we go.
Would have been some goal had Opiyemi managed to find the target with that one, his left foot.
Might take a moment of brilliance tonight. Rosero. A loose pass that's read by Augie. Mangione from distance, just whistling it wide.
Mangione, but I would have been surprised if Levine was beaten from this distance given the contact on the strike.
Argudo. Ikoba laying it off. Augie back to Tega Ikoba in space. Flag was raised before he could tuck it in.
There's good build up here. Great hold up play. And a good ball over the top.
Well, Pancyprian's proving obdurate at the back.
You know, we spoke about seeing that player that had a little bit something different that maybe has the potential to go forward in the future. And from what I've seen from Chavez in the short time that he's been on the field, he's shown something a little bit different.
Is there time for one last sojourn forward for Pancyprians, or are they content to just wait this out?
Just 16 years old, Chavez. 2009 he was born.
Holland has a knack for the late game spectacular. Bylon hooked over the top. Shot comes in! Just whistles wide.
It was wide open there. I thought the Pancyprian team had stole a winner in the last kick of the... Great effort, great connection on the volley. Just off target.
And that is where we leave things after 90 minutes. 30 more beckon here from NKU Soccer Stadium.
Yeah, you're really looking at the depth in your squad to make the difference. Tired legs will kick in, fatigue will kick in, the game will open up. There'll be chances for both teams in these final phases. It's just going to be a case of who has the quality and who can be more clinical inside the box. We saw the last 15 minutes, good chances for both teams, but neither able to capitalize.
Well, back underway, the first 15-minute extra time period has commenced. It's 2 15-minute periods. If we're still tied after that, we go to penalties. And as a reminder for the rules we showed you moments ago, no golden goal. So if a team scores, they don't win the match. They still have to see out the result. It is your classic extra time arrangement tonight. Mañana. Back to Chavez, so dangerous on this right side. An inventive ball in, and Levine able to collect.
Again, dangerous play from Chavez, just creates a space himself, drives inside, whips a dangerous ball to the back post, and I think he caught some of his teammates by surprise with the ball he delivered.
It's cheeky from Holland, and gets it back. Heavy touch.
This is where they're vulnerable in the counter-attack. You can see they just don't have the legs to recover anymore.
Bylon does just enough. There's been a war of attrition tonight. Mangione. Terrific ball. Caicedo off the post.
It's a great first touch here. He completely eliminates Herrera.
Well, Keisel, 17 years of age, an FC Cincinnati Academy product who has featured in both Next Pro matches to date. Pancyprians breaking forward. Argudo into a thicket of white shirts. Still loose. Holland couldn't steer that on frame.
Does well here to pick up the rebound, but defensive block here. And then Haaland just comes charging through like a steam train, just unable to get his strike on target.
And that we do. After 105 minutes, it's still no score between FC Cincinnati 2 and New York Pancyprian Freedoms. Replaced in the heart of defense. Back underway here from NKU Soccer Stadium.
Stood out as a player who has that potential in years to come, and I think he's somebody we want to keep a close eye on.
Well, we approach the final 5 minutes of extra time. Cincinnati driving forward. It was an audacious attempt from Mikoba that wound up right in Levine's gloves. Cincinnati has come out on the front foot in this final period of extra time, hunting that winner to avoid the sheer parity that comes with penalty shootouts. Rosero. Over to Joe Holland. Plenty of space. Holland from afar, and he was not far off.
Holland, who you could arguably say has been Pancyprian's
Cincinnati squad that has not scored in its first 300 minutes of the year. Can they change it here? Headed towards Ikoba, right into the gloves of Levine, and that may be our last involvement. That is the final whistle. Penalties await as we determine who will progress to the second round of the Open Cup. Ikoba against Levine to begin our shootout. And just sneaks it in.
I'm not sure that was the most convincing penalty, but found its way into...
Holland converts, and a well-taken penalty at that.
Experience, speaking volumes here, just confidence, assurance.
And Chavez goes for placement, and a well-struck penalty at that.
Converts like a veteran, sends the goalkeeper the wrong direction. Just rolls it into the side of the net.
Paul Walters, the 20-year-old goalkeeper. And he hits it off the crossbar. Advantage Cincinnati.
Sees this one, Rico.
It's Machado against Levine. And just sneaking it underneath him.
Doesn't want to dance too early. The penalty kicks. The game's not over yet, but doesn't necessarily hit it with a ton of power, but a lot of accuracy in.
And he drills it with ferocity.
He did well when he came into the game tonight, Rosero, and indicative of his performance, drills it home with confidence into the back of the net.
Levine got a touch to it, but it wasn't enough.
It was close, it was close. He may have missed his previous attempts, but on this attempt, Schaefer puts it into the back of the net. Strong advantage now.
Needs to score to keep Pancyprians afloat. And he tucks it in the top corner.
Does well here with a short run up. Just guides it into the top left-hand.
Christel against Levine for the victory. And he skies it. There is life for Pancyprians.
Just hit the target here. He's already sent the goalkeeper the wrong way. Just opts for power, not much action.
We are going into added kicks. And Bailon does score. We are all level.
All tied up after 5 PKs into sudden death. Now we're really going down the depth chart in terms of penalty kick takers.
In his first 2 next pro matches, his first pro penalty against Levine. And he hits it off the post. Pancyprians can win it.
Big moment coming up here. Keeper goes the right way. Ricochets off the post and out.
Hoff against Walters. Hoff converts! Pancyprian pulls the cup set. New York Pancyprian Freedoms through to the second round.
Pancyprian Freedoms